roll, please.
Chair Nelson,
Here.
Vice Chair
Yes.
Treasurer Gallardo,
Yes.
Secretary Lorraine Upward.
Here.
Anthony Herrera.
Okay, we'll start with public comments. This is an opportunity for members of the public to address the board on any matter related to the commission that is not on the agenda. But if anybody who has anything to say that is not on the agenda. Okay, are there any additions to the agenda?
Well, you're technically only supposed to do it when it's come to the attention of the agency after the posting of the agenda. So when's our next meeting?
It's not until February.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought before we had talked,
Have standing item and
I think we did that earlier.
Delegated to the chair is what I thought.
Yeah,
So the point is, I don't necessarily think the board needs to approve your time card because it's in the budget. So just the chair would approve your time card.
okay, and before we get started, I would like to congratulate Letty on being back with us as treasurer.
Not official yet.
Well, it's gonna be on the 8th. And I'd like to welcome Rosemary, who will be taking my spot, so congratulations. Okay, is there any potential conflict of interest? Any board member who has a potential conflict of interest may now identify the item and recuse themselves from discussing and voting on the matter. Okay, we need to go on to number 7, which is approve the minutes of the last meeting. And I don't know if everybody's had a chance to look at them.
I make a motion that approve the minutes as they are in front of us.
Okay, it's been first and seconded. Debbie?
Chair Nelson.
Yes.
Secretary Lorraine.
Yes.
Treasurer Gallardo. Yes. Secretary Lorraine Upward. Yes. Treasurer Anthony Herrera.
Yes.
Okay. And informational items, our financial report, Letty?
Okay. So as of today's balance, we have $342,234.48. In August, balance was $366,170.55. We had checks. One went out for grant proposals for city sports, $4,402 that hadn't cleared. 1574 pricing page, 3170 attorney fees, check 1575 through 36, check 1576 was our secretary's food sheet number 3 for $900. September's balance was $361,764.55. There was a deposit on September 21st. For $15,960.93. Check 1577 was for grant proposal for Central Del Folclorio, Chile tile and carpet for $7,283. Check 1578 grant proposal Central Folclorio, Home Depot $175.36. Check 1579 Leon's Computers $50. Check 1580 Leon's Computers $750. October's balance was $369,642.48. We had check 1581 Leon's Computers for $375. Check 1582 Leon's Computers for $375. Check 1583 attorney fees $2,699. Check 1584 attorney fees $3,330. Check 1580 price was price and gauge $710. Check 1586, Bryson Page, $3,125. And check 1573, which was for the First String Sports, finally cleared in October. November's balance is $345,974.48. Check 1587 for Leon's computers, 1,400. And check 1588 attorney's fees, $2,340. And that's all of it.
And what's our balance as of right now?
342, 234.48.
Can we get coffee? Is there any financial?
Oh, yes,
We
she
could
told me not to make anybody copy except for the secretary.
No, that's fine, because she can,
Do we have,
Debbie.
finances?
yeah,
I
Debbie.
mean, I can give you one for the, that the public gets, you guys want.
Yeah, that, whatever, just so we could have. some.
Okay,
Di-
yeah, I was normally doing them for everybody, but then
Okay, is this for the first one you
the
said
ones
is?
with the check, the vaccine was for,
Okay, did you get your copy or not?
that's
I
her,
think
the
that's-
three copies.
That's
Debbie
you,
might have something.
that's
Then
you.
one.
and I think I'm out.
Debbie, you got one. There's one more.
Got it, okay, thanks.
Okay. And then all the little, if you look at the, like the check and who it's made out to and the little, invoice number, those are all the invoice numbers attached. Those go with all those bills. Those payments.
Thank you, Letty.
So Letty, to date, that November balance, is that what's in reflective today?
342,
Okay.
234.48.
342?
234.48.
Oh, I got it,
Is that the top?
got it, no problem,
Okay,
thank you.
no problem.
Okay, and now we're going to have a report from Lauren Day concerning the Selma Hospital Prayer Garden Funds. That was from December 2019, that those funds were distributed. Do we have someone here from the hospital? No, I don't see anybody. Oh,
What did we give them, 25,000? Is that what it was?
something like that.
25,000 for garden.
They've never come back and given us a
Update,
report. So that's what we're,
I'm pretty sure it was 20 or 20.
yeah, I think you're right. So we did ask them to come back, and I've been there, but I haven't seen anything. So it might be on the back side, on the side. I haven't
don't
looked,
know.
I haven't seen it, so. Anyway, generally, we're, for the public, if we put money towards something and they don't fulfill what they're supposed to do, we get the money back. You know, sometimes it takes us a while to get it back, but we eventually do get it back, so. We generally have them come back and what, something like that, and give us a report and let us know what they've done. Okay, so we're going to go on to our action items, and our first one is the ESYN proposal. We had asked them to come back to a meeting with information on the percentage of Selma Parlier residents who will be served. And they're also needing new voices for the proposal. So, you're on, girls. She's the one.
Hi, I'm Roxanne Marshall with the SYN, one of the co-founders.
I'm Jeanette Solorio, one of the other co-founders. We're missing our other co-founder. There's three of us, Charlotte Beggs. We're all moms of special need children. For those of you who, some of you on the board know, but I see a few new faces. So about 7 years ago, we started ESYN, Exceptional Sports for Youth with Needs, to try to provide activities for differently abled children. We started with baseball, and then we went to soccer, and then we started growing from there. I meant to bring my iPad so you can see our Facebook page. You can like us on ESYN. We post, I think Colleen is on there. I don't know if a few other people see We post all the activities, yes, I've seen a few people. We post all our activities on our ESYN Facebook page, and I meant to bring my iPad so we could show you the pictures, but if you're interested, I can email them to you, or you can access them through liking on Facebook. So throughout the years, we've grown and we've come to the health board, and we've been in collaboration with the health board, I think twice before with some grants. We've been growing exponentially, but we've been adding amazing activities. We now have differently abled kids, all different age ranges, different disabilities, different diagnoses. We now do indoor soccer, bowling, Selma Bowling Alley. We do horse therapy at Spirit Horse. We've added Project Surf Camp, which is a paddleboard or surf camp out at Morro Bay. All lessons are given by mainly special education teachers. We've done a hip hop or dance class with iDance. We host a Halloween party and a breakfast with Santa. I think one thing that's really good about our organization is that there's no other organizations like this around in the surrounding areas for kids. You would have to drive to Fresno, and a lot of our families have other children and activities, different things, and they're not able to. So we try to provide those activities and different social events for them that are here in our community, right? And it's such an important need. So we've been having a lot of people reach out. I know I missed last month, or I think it was August, the last meeting and first day of school or first day of work for me, and I wasn't able to attend. So ESYN totally understands that, and we respect the bylaws, right? And we realize that all the money should be spent on residents of Selma. So we revised our proposal to only include the number of children and residents of Selma. I believe our participants from Parlier, I haven't seen the boundaries, but I believe they're in mainly the city of Parlier, and I believe your boundaries are mainly on the outskirts of Parlier, if that's correct. So I don't know if you've seen our new proposal, and we have the invoices. And if Roxanne wants to add anything that I left out.
Is there more?
I think I was missing the invoices that night because we had them modified.
Did you send you the invoices? Here's a set.
One complete set, and I have another set. Yeah, I can email more sets. I didn't really brought the one.
Okay, so how many kids are in this program?
So, like I said, due to popularity, we are growing. So we are getting participants wanting to come and participate in from Fowler, Kingsburg, Parlier. So for bowling, we had approximately 60 kids registered.
And out of those 60, how many are from Selma?
35.
So roughly about every one of these registration fees, there's roughly 35 kids from Selma.
Yes. And spoke with our accountant, and I have
So 35, but they're all the same kids or different kids in each.
it depends on the activity.
Okay.
Because maybe like Charlotte's daughter doesn't like horses, she's afraid, so she might not do the horse therapy. But it depends on their abilities and their likes and their interests.
Okay, so what do you guys charge for a child to be to get into this program? What is the fee?
It depends what activity it is.
Right.
Okay, so what do you guys charge for the indoor bowling?
So indoor bowling would be $60 is what we charge the family. $10 is for a t-shirt. So on the proposal, we just put $50 for the kid, per kid.
And what is it, $70? You said 60 and 10?
She's
No.
just saying, so that way
It'd
the
be a
health
total
board
of 60.
money would not pay for the t-shirt.
$60
total,
total.
and that includes $10 for a t-shirt. So in our proposal, that's why we put down $50 per kid.
Do you need a set? I have.
Yeah, I don't have to.
There's more.
I apologize.
This is one complete set.
Can I ask you a question? Is this,
Jeanette, here you go.
is this the original proposal that we got? Oh, it's both?
So we,
Oh, here's what it is. Yeah, yeah. So your 74, 95 is what these activities would cost for Selma children.
Our revised proposal,
Yes.
yes, includes Selma children only, residents of Selma only,
Okay.
yes.
7,495.
So the last page is 4870. Is that what you're asking for?
So we have a question. So we came prior to the new guidelines.
Correct.
So we are not sure if we still follow under the old criteria.
Okay, so if
Which
we
would
went
be
with the old
above-
guidelines,
Mhm.
you're at 7495.
Yes, that's
I
correct.
believe in my thoughts, you guys were prior to us changing the rules. So I would, as myself, I would say I would honor the 7495 because you guys came in before. I mean, we'll vote on it, but in my consensus, this is what I feel is
Right.
appropriate.
So we
This is in your
prepared two
packet.
different proposals. If we
Just right over
are,
there. One more.
if we're still on the old criteria, and then if we're limited, then we
Okay.
propose,
All right.
prepare the second proposal.
So Jeanette, the original proposal, it was dated July 26th. So I'm kind of assuming that would have paid for August bowling. I think bowling was in August.
no, that proposal wasn't going to be for this year's voting. That proposal was for the 2023.
So all of this is going to be for 2020.
From here on
Exactly,
out.
yes.
Okay.
They're proactive.
So then the remaining amount for you're gonna be able to, you guys gonna fundraise for the press or?
Right. In the new draft, we don't want to exclude any other children from the surrounding areas,
No.
but we met and we spoke, and so those parents, and like I was saying, we talked to the accountant, so the health board monies will be set aside, and those will be used for Selma residents. And I brought how our accountant does it, but so now anyone who is not a resident of Selma, they could private pay, or we can fundraise, or we also get a lot of private donations, and those private donations can pay for the activity.
Can I ask a question? Have you approached Kingsford's health board? And is taking care of their kids?
We have not.
On this, you've got kind of bullets in your gun now, if you understand my point. And I don't know if Fowler has a health board or not, but I'm just saying that in help you along with your
Yes, sure.
outside funding, you could definitely try to capture them
Right.
also.
That's a great idea, and also, because of the popularity, we've also been approached by Central Valley Regional Center to see if we wanted to become vendors, but there's a process to that, and we got our hands full, so we'll see. Yeah,
I mean, I think your guys' program is a great program.
Thank
I remember when you guys first came in, it was, I mean, I was like, that's a lot of work you guys are doing. You guys are asking for very much, but I just want to make sure that we understand like the registration piece that they're asking, because remember, we turned down other people for registration fees because we don't pay those. But because this is an exception, because these are special, needs kids, and I think, they should, get some help the way we're doing it, and, because, they, it's a lot of work, and we need a lot of help.
Leslie, I think,
But I don't know what we changed
I
on
think
the,
the difference on the registration fees in my mind, the other ones in the past had come for like tournament registration
Right.
fees.
I just want to make sure that
Right.
when
I
people
think it's
see this, they're gonna say, oh, well.
It was the out of town.
that's not-
Yeah.
We're doing,
Yeah.
we're doing this because, you know.
So when we speak about
kids-
registration fees, we have to search out businesses or organizations such as like Spirit Horse, who are qualified, trained, and can provide the adaptive activity that our population, our group needs. So we don't, we have to search out those with the skill set, the equipment, the techniques. So that's why, you know, we wouldn't be able to do it without registration fees. Yeah,
And then,
or, yeah, you can
if
call them
this
participant
grant
fees.
is- then every check that's written out would be made out to all these bowling
Right,
right?
right.
Okay.
Right, they can be paid directly.
And each invoice has their name and
Yeah,
address and
perfect.
contact
That's what
number.
I need. And
Perfect.
then I need a receipt, right, a receipt from you guys,
And-
$7,495. That's my ESY.
And we want to make sure we are very transparent in what we do. 100% of the money spent on 100% on the children. We don't get paid. It's all volunteer service. We don't benefit from it anyhow. But we want to make sure we're good stewards with our money. So when you first gave us our last grant, I created an expenditure along with, and you can see it with our accountant, and 100% of the health board monies is accounted for towards health needs. You know, physical activities, wellness. And I can email that to you guys if you'd like, or the secretary.
Do we have any comments from the audience? Yeah. If they come up to the mic.
It's fine. So your excellency, sir. Quick question on these young ladies, you know, on these programs. Special needs on these. I know there's, you know, being in federal, you know, being in the government, you know, 54, there are programs out there for the special need kids out there. I know that. Have you guys reached out to the like crippled children, stuff like that, special needs operations in Fresno County?
We're familiar with some of them. We do collaborate with some of the parents, but we haven't reached out yet to do like actual activities with them.
Yeah, I think if you reach out to them.
Which program are you speaking of?
They're through the crippled children's.
Crippled children. Is that CCS?
CCS, yes. CCS. And they actually help the kids, even though the kids have trouble with school, whatever, you know, the school system. If anybody works in the school system, they should know about some of this stuff. Okay. But, you know, those things, I'm trying to help you guys facilitate some of these issues that you're having. I mean, I'm listening to what you're saying.
But some of these programs don't
I know.
give money directly.
I know that, but they do help, they do assist, they may, see, this is not
In
about
which capacity?
the capacity, they do assist in certain areas for the children's needs and stuff,
Right.
okay? And some, there are private donors, and they contribute, you know, and they're out, trust me, they're there, and you'll be surprised. We reach out to the, good example, we reach out to the CSS, and also the Children's Hospitals operation.
Right.
They have connections there with that. So that'll help you guys facilitate some of these issues. As far as your needs, as far as your equipment, as far as some of these kids that have special needs.
Right.
The reason why I say that, I remember you because you came and talked about your kids with special needs. And we did accommodate, Eric White, we built a thing for the handicapped kids in that area, for assistance to help them.
Right.
So we just, I'm just kind of facilitate some of these issues that you're having.
Yeah,
we
Okay.
appreciate that.
All right, and there is money out, there, trust me, there is. And I know you guys want to see three.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone from the board have a comment?
Well, I do, and I'd like to I'm gonna make a motion, basically, based on that, you guys came to us prior to our changing the way funding, on awarding this money. And it was because you guys were focusing on, we requested, we want to take care of only the Selma kids. So giving that, it predates our reduction in the micro grants. So on this occasion, for you guys, I make a motion that we grant you the $7,495 for the deal, because when you came to us, we asked you for corrections on or definitions to condense it down to Selma children only. So that's my motion.
Lorraine. Lorraine. Hey, Debbie?
Chair Nelson,
Yes?
Vice Chair Ruby,
Yes.
Treasurer Navarro. Yes. Secretary Avalos. Yes. Treasurer Rivera.
Thank you. We'd like to, or maybe I can email you our Facebook link. And maybe you guys can come out and see some of the activities we post. And we also like to invite you to our breakfast with Santa in 2 Saturdays from now, Selma Dining Hall. Fully catered breakfast for the children and the family, free toys, train, hopefully if it doesn't rain. And we'd like to hand you guys invitations, and we thank you for collaborating with us. And I mean, the reason why we got started was on.
Well, I would encourage you guys to hit Kingsburg and Fowler. If they have health boards.
That's a very good
help you out
idea.
too.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Thank you guys.
Thank
you.
Instead of going to the next grant proposal, we're going, I think the representative from the hospital is here. So we're going to let you step in and we're going to take care of that first.
Good evening.
That's why I haven't seen it. Inside the hospital, I never go to.
No. Close to the front. A lot. Thank you so much for having me this evening. I'm the new philanthropy executive for the Central Valley Health Foundation. I just started this last year, so I'm new to the community and to the hospital, but super grateful to be here and a part of it all. I was reached out to recently about your generous donation that you made quite a few years ago to our Selma Prayer Garden. Yes, it was 25,000. And you were our top donor for that. So thank you so much. This is purely a thank you presentation. There's no ask associated with it. I just wanted to close the loop and make sure that you understood how grateful we are for the support and what was done with the dollars that you did indeed donate. I included an overview of Adventist Health just as a brief refresher of our system and our hospitals. On the first page, you'll see all of Adventist Health as a system, and these are all of our Adventist Health hospitals in Oregon, California, and Hawaii. We are the Central Valley Network, which is right there in the center, consisting of Reedley, Selma, Hanford, and Tulare. We have over 35 rural health clinics in our area and 50 clinics overall. I included a fact sheet and some statistics about our clinic visits. baby deliveries, discharges, and emergency department visits as well. And that's over all 4 hospitals and our clinics as well. I included our acute care capacity. So how many rooms are in each hospital, how many ICUs, how many emergency department beds, and how many operating rooms, just for a fun fact sheet. And then I included photos of our Selma Prayer Garden, which was what your donation helped support. I included a before picture, which looks pretty vacant and empty. And happy to report that we did indeed build a Selma Prayer Garden in an area on site there in the hospital. Your name is listed as on our donor wall, which is directly outside of the prayer garden. It's a beautiful plaque. And then we have a dedication stone as well for Dr. and Mrs. Sydney Wright. And then these pictures were taken in the fall about 2 weeks ago. So it's not the absolute greenest that the prayer garden is, but I did include a picture in the summer on a page past that, which is a little bit greener and more lush. The prayer garden does receive a lot of visitors from the hospital. It has Bible verses scattered throughout the garden, which are served as inspiration for our patients while they're waiting for the care that they're to receive. But just wanted to share a sincere thank you for your support. We were able to fundraise a little bit more than what the prayer garden initially costed us. So those funds will stay within Selma and stay within beautification of the prayer garden and the grounds there. Any questions?
Thank you for coming and showing and sharing with us. For the newcomers that didn't know that was granted, I really appreciate that. Very nice.
Sure. Well, we appreciate your support over the years and appreciate being a part of this community and value your partnership very much. So thank you for being our top donor in that initiative, and looking forward to working with you in the future.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your presentation.
Absolutely.
Now
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna go look at it.
Yeah, go visit.
Now I know where it's at.
And feel free to connect with me anytime. You all have my card and cell phone number. But if you have any ideas or suggestions, or God forbid, you're in our hospital, let me know and we'll make sure we're taking good care of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so Second Chance Animal Shelter is our next presentation. Excuse me.
Can we ask them to stick around this here with on the latter part of the grant department?
Would you mind staying? We're going to be talking about partnering up with the organizations in the community. So you might want to, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Board, for reviewing our proposal and allowing us to bring this back to the Healthcare Board. So we're not sure where we fall, if we fall in the old guidelines or the micro grants. So we just are trying to get whatever type of funding we can. As you know, that the California Health and Safety Code requires that all domestic animals must be vaccinated against rabies and any communicable diseases as they live with us in the community. And that is very, very important. With animal control services, those services are provided. Any strays that are picked up or any animals that get loose, we do vaccinate. We do provide rabies vaccines along with those services. We provide microchipping, which is so important to know who these animals belong to. And microchips, as what we've seen, the unfortunate circumstances in July, 4 of those animals, dogs, were not microchipped. Had they not known who the owners were, we never would have known who those dogs belonged to and who was responsible for them. So microchipping is a must for identification and just to return the pet back to their owner. So any animal that comes through our doors gets microchipped before they leave, which is very, very important, but at the same time is very costly. And we need to control the pet population. There are a lot of feral cats, a lot of dogs that are being born that don't have homes. And they're being abandoned, disposed, which again calls on animal control services to go ahead and take care of. So we need programs to help us spay and neuter all of these animals so that we can control that population from getting out of hand. Since the pandemic, nationwide, we are facing large amounts of animals coming into shelters, rescues. We are not able to adopt out animals. We are not able to send them to rescue because everyone are inundated. During the pandemic, people were home. They wanted to get more animals as companions because they were home and they were able to take care of them. Now that we're going back into the workforce, everything is getting back to normal. People are not able to take care of these animals, or they realize, oh my God, this animal is too large, this dog is too large. And with the cost of living going up, it is much more expensive to take care of them, to provide dog food, to provide vet services, because everything is now more expensive. So they're just abandoning them or dropping them off, saying they can't take care of them. Thus, animal control services has to come into play. We are trying to work with low-cost clinics, but they're far and in between it, and they're very, very impacted. You cannot get appointments. Appointments are set out 4 to 5 months. We tried to get an appointment for an adopted dog. February is as soon as that we can get. It was like 3rd week of November, you know, so now they are having to make sure that their animal, their dog does not, you know, female does not get pregnant for those 3 months. We charge $185 adoption fee. That includes spay, neuter, microchipping, and all vaccines. The lowest low-cost clinic is Hope Foundation in the area, and they charge $130 depending on the weight. Females are much more, but if you go to a private clinic, they're anywhere between $350 to $450 just to spay or neuter a dog. So we do need to do something so that we are able to provide these services to our citizens, to our communities, to be able to incentivize adoptions. The feral cat population is continuing to grow in our community. Code enforcement is being called constantly to help with this, and that it's an issue, but there are no trap and release programs so that they can spay and neuter these at a low cost. So if we were able to get something like that, we can definitely help. I just got an email from Quinn Company this morning. They have a huge feral cat problem on their facility. They're wanting some help. They're wanting to know if there is a program. And I informed them, I said, you know what? We hope that there will be. We're going tonight. If you would like to show up, please do, and support so that we can get a program so that we can help them, because they don't want to just trap these animals and hurt them. They want to do the right thing, spay and neuter them and release them back into their colony so that they don't further reproduce to create more of a problem. Education and training are key elements for pet owners in all animal ownership. All domestic animals should be able to follow basic obedience, and we are working with partners, Good Pup, which are providing low-cost online training. So if we're able to help homeowners and animal owners to provide this training at a low-cost rate, they will be able to keep their pets and be able to overcome the issues that they're currently facing, such as leash aggression or food aggression or any of the other, barking at the doorbell. These are simple things that people say to us when they're trying to surrender their animal. So if we're able to do that, they will be able to safely stay home and follow basic obedience commands of not to run out into the street and hurt other animals or other people. We need funding for it. We are asking for a TNR program, but we're also, it is very, very costly to pay for microchips, vaccines, vetting costs for all of these stray dogs that we are picking up. Today, we just picked up 4 that were attacking surrounding dogs and possibly chasing humans. So those are key things. Those are education pieces that we needed, that we could have prevented by talking to the owners, providing them training or resources and partnering with code enforcement to help fix fences or cite homeowners and locate these people so that they can keep their animals contained. But it's very important that we educate and train the public well so that they're able to take care of their animals so that they're not running around and keeping them vaccinated so that we can also provide low-cost vaccination clinics. That's my synopsis. I mean, there's much more. I can talk about this all day. Do you guys have any questions?
Anybody on the board? Is there anybody in the community that has a comment or?
I have a comment.
I think it's right here.
Microphone right there.
I'm sure my voice travels.
But we have to have you on camera.
Oh.
So we're zooming.
Just stand behind the two girls.
Well, I just wanted to come and say what a great job that they've been doing, but I really think that this issue should really go to city council and not the healthcare board. I believe the animal shelter has received a lot of funding from the healthcare board. They bought, you guys bought them a van. No? You guys
No, we
didn't?
bought them a truck.
The
It was
truck?
years ago, but,
Yeah, truck.
but it-
Dishwasher for bowls and other items. And I think that was very, very gracious, but I really think that this is a city council, should go on the city council agenda and maybe get money from the city council as opposed to the healthcare board. That's just my thought as a citizen, as a taxpayer, because my tax money is also involved in this. And I'm sure other citizens in the community feel the same way. And so I'm hoping the healthcare board will make the appropriate decision. And that's why I'm here.
Thank you.
I have a question, Charlene. What does the city give you? Because you also deal with Kingsburg a little bit.
So the city gives us $8,163 monthly. And that is for animal control services. City of Kingsburg, we do not provide animal control services. We just house their dogs. So we don't go out and patrol. We don't go out and pick up. Those dogs get brought to us by PD, Public Works, or the public. We do not accept any owner surrender dogs from the city of Kingsburg. So it is a minimal amount. We get $250 per dog. So there's never, it just depends on how many dogs come in from the city of Kingsburg. No animal control services are provided there. Here we do provide animal control services, but that, and we are in negotiations with the city as well. But with the rising costs of everything, you know, fuel, vaccines, vet costs, that is not able to cover. And yes, the health board was gracious enough a few years ago to provide us a dishwasher, but we are housing almost over 100 dogs at this time. And bowls get changed out. I mean, it's when there's one water bowl and one food bowl.
I've washed dishes down
Yeah,
there.
the
You can't
dishwasher
believe
cannot
what
keep
those
up.
dogs and cats
You
do.
need 2 people to be washing bowls a minimum of twice a day, so that they have clean bowls. And we do, because the dogs do defecate into their bowls. You know, so they have to be clean and provided fresh bowls twice a day.
I don't understand how the city thinks you can run a program and they don't even pay enough to keep a full-time person hired.
Yes.
I don't get that.
Minimum wage is going up to $15.50 starting January 1st. Before, there were exceptions in the last few years that if you have less than 20 employees, you know, it's at a lesser threshold, which was $14 because we were under that threshold. However, starting January 1st, everybody will be $15.50. So we are actually very, very afraid of that time coming up because payroll costs are going to skyrocket. And we do have to keep a full staff. We have 7 employees. That includes our animal control officers for the week and the weekends, and then our kennel techs. volunteers are volunteers. We're not guaranteed if they're gonna show up. They may come today, something may come up tomorrow, and they're not obligated to show up, but paid employees do.
And are your patrol officers, obviously are they paid more than 15.50 an
They
hour?
are paid a little bit more than 15, than the minimum wage, but not much.
Well, you wouldn't be able to keep anybody.
Right.
And I know that I've talked to when I worked at the sub down with the adult transition class for Selma. I've been trying to get that person to
Yes,
bring the
we
kids
have,
down and help, but she thinks all they're gonna do is, well,
No,
it
we-
hasn't been successful.
we do get volunteers from the high school, some people that need to do their community service for court proceedings and whatnot, they do come through, but they're few and far in between. Again, they're volunteers, they don't have to show up, and it's not for a long period of time. We did get one person from Proteus, he worked out very well, he's a very, very good gentleman, and we did end up hiring him, but that has been the first one that we've seen in the last 2 years.
8163 a month, we said get from the city.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how much, do you know roughly how much it costs us a year to run the shelter?
I do not have those figures, but we can definitely get those. We are working with, again, we're in contract negotiations with the city to be able to provide, because we are gonna need more money, so we're
And you
gathering
said that
all of
the
those figures.
vaccines is the highest bill you guys have. That
Um,
doesn't cover under the 8163, right?
No, 8163 is barely touching payroll. Our payroll is anywhere between $65,000 and $7,000, and if it's a holiday, it's closer to 7,000 because we have to pay them holiday pay and we have to pay them for working that day because we can't afford for them not to show up to work because there's live animals involved.
How many employees is that?
7 employees.
7?
And we're on a bi-weekly pay schedule.
I mean, because I'm not familiar with all the invoicing, where's the vaccine amount?
Vaccines, Zoetis is the first page, and those are some rabies that we purchased for the vaccination clinics. And anything that says the feed store, which is local, so when we run out of vaccines, we have to run down the street to purchase, and they're at a premium. So those are vaccines, which are going to be your Bordetella and Parvo and your dewormer. And then anything that says animal health, Revival Animal Health, that is a online, almost like a pharmacy that we can purchase at a lower cost, but not too much. And those are I'm looking at it right here, that I just recently purchased. It was $645, and that is for 25 dogs. That's it. We're continuously, and then supplies. You'll see some Amazon receipts in here because we're always looking for the lowest option to be able to buy. So if we can buy needles and syringes and whatnot off of there, then we're going to go do it there because it's more affordable for us. So we're, as a board, we're always searching, always helping staff, do paperwork or whatnot, because they won't have the time. They need to take care of the dogs.
I know the last pups I fostered ended up with Parvo and they were gonna put them down, so I worked out a deal and I paid half and you guys
Parvo,
paid half.
unfortunately, is very, very prevalent right now. A lot of pups are catching Parvo. People are dumping their pups that have early signs of Parvo. We end up getting them, and we try our best by fluids and whatnot. Parvo costs thousands of dollars to save a pup with Parvo. And unfortunately, that's funding that we don't have. We try our very, very best, but we have thresholds set that we can't go past. If they have good signs of survivability and recovery.
You catch them real early, because
Exactly.
my pups got it.
Unfortunately, yesterday we had to put down a pup that had contracted Parvo, and it was a cost between $2,000 and $4,000 with hospitalization and everything to save. And the doctor still wasn't going to guarantee that the pup was going to survive.
Arvine, listening to your presentation today, and then prior to that, reading through the proposal, seems like the common theme is you're looking for funding to keep the costs low for people who are
Yes,
adopting.
yes,
Keep the chips costs low, keep the spay and neuter costs low,
yes,
keep the vaccine costs low.
yes.
I think you're gonna have to go back and raise those prices.
I mean,
'cause we have pets. and we
Yes,
know that
absolutely.
Pet owner, it's gonna cost. And I don't see us as a way of keeping you in business by funding you.
Right,
This-
we are
this isn't the
trying,
right funding.
so the more that we raise the rates, the less it's going to be incentivize people to come. It's not gonna, we're gonna be less appealing to them to come adopt from us. Right now, for each dog, it's $185.
Seniors get a discount.
Seniors get a discount, veterans get a
But if-
discount, and we
if you
have,
can't stay in business.
right. So we're
You're gonna
helping, I mean,
have
we're
to do something.
fundraising, we're asking for donations, we're applying for grants to help keep that low. We're already not getting adoptions. I mean, we've done, for Black Friday, we did all black pups, $50. Nobody showed up.
Wow.
Veterans Day, we offered all veterans free adoption.
During the summer, we did a 0 adoption fee for like 3 or 4 months, and we got very few
Half.
adoptions. So we get more surrenders than we get adoptions out. So we do take pups to rescue. We try to get these pups out however we can. But again, we just took 4 pups to rescue last week, and we got 9 in this week. So it's like a
And you're
revolving
getting
door, and we don't
A
ever
lot of
get
big
any
dogs, aren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the small dogs fly off the shelves because they're small. The big dogs aren't moving.
I mean, there's a lot of moving parts
Yes,
in your proposal. And one of the ones that I heard you talk about and not complain, but explain is the cost of employment. And you said something about, is there a program that you guys are affiliated with? You know, there's probation programs where a guy has to work. 100
Yes.
hours. So are you affiliated with that? And how
So-
much, how many people come to you? I mean, how many do you?
recently it's been juveniles that are coming to do their community service hours. That's what it normally is. It's for them to do their work hours or community service hours. And for juveniles, it's 8 hours, 5 hours. So that's what we've been getting. We've been trying to partner with the sheriff to get their
Older.
older and I guess longer community service hours for their offenders, I guess, that they have to do maybe 100 hours or more. But we have been unsuccessful with that. We have reached out to the high schools and said, hey, you guys have to do some sort of community service for
I
your
don't,
college
I don't believe the high
application.
school are going to do it on
No,
their
they
own.
used to
They
have,
used
they
to.
used to.
You-
They had a pet
Yes.
club. And when the pet club went under after COVID,
Yes.
nobody has picked it up.
There's
but-
been like a school work program where we got a couple people over the summer, but
Well, and again, why I'm pushing that is
Yes.
there's more crime and people having to put in community
Exactly.
service hours.
yes,
And that would take some of the money that you're having to dedicate towards employee costs. And with people coming and working for
We-
free in a program,
exactly.
you're gonna have more money for the
If,
supplies.
and that's
stuff.
only if they're dog people and they want to pick up,
Well, understandably.
you know what I
but-
mean? And so we have asked the sheriff to provide us with lists. I work
And-
for a government agency where we do get inmates to come work for us. But recently we haven't gotten, I mean, probably in the last month, we've gotten one. So it's getting
Well, I
harder.
understand,
Yeah, so, but we have worked with Proteus and they provided us with a great employee. He had 200 hours that he had to complete before December 1st, and he did. And we actually did hire him because we needed to fill the weekend ACO position, and he is doing a great job, and he's a very, very good
There
employee.
was one down there, when I had the pups, that was working, doing community service. He did a very good job. He was very good with the
Thank you.
dogs.
So we have a lot of moving parts. We have a lot of goals that we want to work with the community. Unfortunately, funding is something that is lacking, but we are wanting to start training and education programs because that will help as well. keep the pet population low, spay and neuter programs. I know that the last time we were here, you guys discussed a TNR program with us, and that's something that we want to start. SNP is a low-cost mobile clinic that goes around, so if we can partner with them, that they can actually come and bring their van and they can do, X number of cats and dogs, that would be great at a low cost. And so if we could get some funding for that, that would help with the feral cat population where we can track, spay and neuter and release back into the communities of their colonies of where they're at.
I've heard from residents in my district who do not want us to run anymore. So I'm gonna-
Okay.
The dog lover. Oh, a comment in the back?
I have a question. I know recently you removed some, my name is Erlinda Martinez. Just recently you removed some vicious dogs from a homeowner, right? Well, the one where the brother, I guess, was passed away due to the vicious animal or something like that. Like, wasn't it several months ago that we talked
The
about?
gentleman that was killed?
Yes.
You're
Okay.
asking if those dogs were taken in?
Yes, those were taken in by them, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, I'm assuming, educate me, maybe I don't know, what's the details that go when they pick up a vicious animal like that, or animals in this case? What is the responsibility of the homeowner to make sure that all the services that were rendered to remove the animal, what do they get back from all of those services?
Did you receive?
Because I know that the city has a contract with you,
Right.
but a certain contract would probably indicate animals for other reasons other than the one that you guys, because I think
We
when you
don't get-
remove a vicious animal like that in that situation, that's kind of dangerous.
We don't get reimbursed
So
for any
you
of the
don't,
fees
you
that
don't
we
get
incur.
reimbursed? You
So,
don't have a contract with the city
Even through the insurance of the gentleman?
of the homeowners?
So in that case, and unfortunately, it's still an open investigation, so we really can't comment on that particular case. But if we call it by quarantine, so vicious animals like biting, attacking, by quarantine. So how that works is it's a 10-day mandatory quarantine, and that's on part of, that's mandated by the Fresno County Health Department, where we monitor for rabies. So we monitor that dog to make sure if it's not showing any signs of rabies. If it is, we need to immediately notify if it was a dog, so the dog owners, if it was a person, you notify the person and the county that this dog is showing signs of rabies so that proper treatment can be sought. If there are no signs after 10 days, the county hold is lifted. However, in by quarantine cases, the police department has jurisdiction, so they will review, do interviews, do their due diligence, and then choose to release the dog or euthanize the dog or give us the route that we go. We have no jurisdiction over those dogs. However long that they stay with us, sometimes it's only 10 days. We have dogs that have been there for over a month. Sometimes it's a couple of months. We only get, from the homeowner, we get a bite quarantine fee of $175. That is it. So we have currently 6 dogs at our facility that are bite quarantine, and we're only gonna get $175 per dog for taking care of them for X, however.
And how
long
do you
we have
get that changed?
Yes. Now, the problem with that is that there are some homeowners that don't want to pay that fee, so they're not going to come get their animal. So now the shelter is stuck with that animal. So the fees are very, and yes, in the case with the mauling, again, it's a still an open investigation. But should we go and charge them our fees for coming out that day and our medical costs and all of that, that is being looked into. And in the homeowner insurance or the renter's insurance should cover those costs.
Because I see that there has to be a lot of changes.
Yes, there has to
Because
be a lot.
you can't render services and yet don't get refunded from us. The
Exactly.
city is giving you a certain amount, but yet if you're stuck with the animal and it's on you, well then there has to be.
We do
some
have a
changes.
dog. We do have,
As I love animals,
absolutely.
especially dogs, more than anything, but if I have a vicious dog and my dog mauls somebody, it's my responsibility to pay
Absolutely.
back any of the damages done to the other person, whatever has to come from the city that I had.
Or
People that
cost,
come,
cost to pay.
It's only fair. Why is
That's
it
if they
for me as a,
It's
well,
it's called being a
Some people
responsible
have
pet
a-
owner.
if you have a
pick up their
home,
dog.
you could
Don't just
attach
leave it alone.
wages.
And we, you know, so, the
That's how
county of
it gets
Fresno
done.
and the city of Selma have leash laws where your dogs cannot be off leash when they are in public. So they cannot be, you know, running around in the street without a leash. They have to be in control of their owner at all times. Doesn't matter if he's a perfect model dog, has to be on a leash. There are leash laws, and there are a lot of homeowners that don't follow. We do have a dog that was a bite quarantine, and their owners no longer wanted them, so they left them. They said, we're not taking him back.
Yeah, because I feel that it's a responsibility of the city also to pass regulations or something.
I agree.
So that everybody works as a group, because if I own a vicious dog, it's my responsibility to take care of it. If there's any expenses that occur because of my, not taking care of my animal, then it's my responsibility to pay whoever,
Yes.
you know, has to be
and
paid.
if
But
Can I
but
ask-
my question is also, why is it that I, for my taxpayers' money, have to pay for irresponsible owners? You see, it's not
Excuse
fair.
me, so we've already made this point. We need to make sure that only one person speaks at a time. Thank you.
Sorry,
We can't do anything about what the city does.
exactly.
We have one
And,
more.
and that was gonna be one of the questions I want to ask you, is the involvement with the city, the obligation. We're not privy to
Right.
what your contract is with the city of Selma.
Right.
And we don't know, is it, or how long it is, or what's going, you know what I mean? That's
Right.
kind of irrelevant to what you're
Right.
coming to us to ask for, but I am kind of curious. What is the status with Second Chance on contract with the city?
Our contract expires on June 30th of 2023. That is why we have already started negotiations with them to help revise that contract and hopefully go for a fee increase because it's much needed. The contract was put in place in July 1st of 2021. So those fees need to be revised, or actually the compensation needs to be revised as things have changed, especially in the last 6 to 8 months. Cost of living has gone up in huge rates. I mean, just at June, the last time I had checked, the CPI was up at 4%. So we definitely we are in those talks. But with our proposal, we are proposing to help provide other programs that are outside of animal control services, such as spay and neuter programs, training, low-cost training programs to help educate citizens that have semi-vicious dogs or whatnot, so that way you can provide proper training so that these types of things don't happen. Because we want to make model citizens that have good dogs, because again, yes, it is the owner's responsibility of their pet at all times.
I just had a quick question on the microchipping, because I think you asked for that.
Mhm.
And you said that you'd be able to contact the homeowner, okay?
Mhm.
But as you can see, if they don't want to be contacted and not be responsible, how are you going to make these people be responsible? So you get the microchip, right? Because lately I've been walking my daughter's dog a lot, and it scares me to death, like that I may encounter a dog. Okay, let's say I do, and I have. I try to go a different direction, and they're microchipped, okay? Well, how's that gonna make me feel safe? How is that going to protect myself?
The
and my
dog is
animal?
microchipped, it can be scanned and the owners can be contacted, and, we can try to hold them accountable and have it documented that, hey, this person's dog has come in and we have contacted, so that way, and then we can provide that information to code enforcement saying, hey, this person's dog is running loose all of the time, or we're picking it up, or they're not securing it, so then we can go up that avenue, so that we know that it is indeed this person's dog. So
in
that,
the-
that helps with accountability.
The homeowner is, or the they, if they do have a home, we could go after them
Yes.
if you know.
Okay, any comments? Are we done? Do I have a motion? Oh, Jim?
I'm here to clarify some issues, okay? Ladies,
Set your timer.
okay. I was got the past, okay? All right, I was former mayor of the city of Selma, all right? And we restructured the dog situation away from the police department. And there was a reason why. Our crime stats were out of control. We felt that we needed troops on the ground. So we had to restructure our plan as far as protection for the city of Selma, for the residents. See, our crime stats were out of control. So we need boots on the ground. So what we've done smartly, you know, instead of having a officer in charge of the dogs and everything, we took that officer away from the dogs and put it into what we call the animal shelter now to what we have today. And the reason why we did that was cost effective, because that money we saved as far as insurance on that, we put up cameras in all the parks. Every park that you have in the city of Selma has a camera, surveillance camera hooked to the police department. So our crime, we did that. Crime had went down tremendously in the parks, okay? So we gotta be innovative with our money, with the taxpayers' money. When people make comments, you know, my money shouldn't be used for that. But see, they don't understand by doing the animal shelter, what you guys, the animal shelters did a better job than the city of Selma was doing in the past. We had an old dog shelter out there. Who knows? Out there in McCall, very badly run, okay? I'll admit to that, okay? So we, Don Towell, the former mayor of the city as well, we all got together and acquired equipment to shelter, the shelter that we have now, all the metal building we bought that a long time ago for that purpose, to bring it to the city of Selma. So what we've done smartly, we had to do this because our crime was out of control, because we needed to restructure the plan. Not this officer, we paying insurance and liability, all this was in factor. So we took that taxpayers' money and restructured it and put it that direction, okay? I know that because I was part of that. I was at Maritime. I put up as a group, we put up all the surveillance cameras from Schaefer, Salazar Center. Every park has got a surveillance camera. Even this building outside, this building has a surveillance camera. Okay, guys, it hooked it to the police department. So we felt you had to be safe, and we wanted to make sure we have the troops on the ground. And it was a cost effective for us. And the reason why I say that, because I even went on ride along. You can ask my wife up there, she's doing. Never, you know, I never come home late at night, but it had to be done, guys. That was the only way we can make the city of Selma safe where it's at today. And I actually manage a shopping center. I have surveillance cameras. I have 35 cameras in the Selma Plaza right now, and the surveillance cameras. And I'm in the process of hooking up to the police department right now as we speak. So I'm trying to make our community safe. As far as the dogs, so the shelter inoculation of dogs is very important, guys, because since they have done this program, they are number one in the Fresno County. They're actually, your dog shelter is number one. Everybody's looking at Selma as number one because they're no kill zone. They're actually, their numbers as far as dogs being adopted are phenomenal versus Fresno's. So they're looking at Selma dog shelter as a model. And we should be very proud of what we do in the city of Selma.
I think we are proud of that. Thank you, Jim. We hit our 3-minute mark there.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'm just had to clear that up. People make comments about, you know.
No, I agree. I've been here a long
I'm
time
just
too.
telling you straight up. I'm not gonna lie, I don't color code anything. I
No.
straighten people out sometimes.
Okay, anybody else?
Just clarification. And going forward, I wish you the best with renegotiating the contract with the city. I just don't see, and again, as a person here on this board, what we're evaluating, the stability of renegotiating a contract with the city when they're not giving you what you want right now. I'm just making that point as me listening to everything. And it really makes it hard for me to decide on this until I know, hey, I just signed a 5-year contract with the city of Selma, and they're going to do X, Y, and Z, and I need a little bit of help. I'm establishing a pattern here, you know, it makes it hard because if you're gonna be here for 6 months and you don't know what's gonna happen after that point, it's kind of hard for.
A lot can be done in 6 months, like a
And
TNR program.
I am
Yeah.
totally agreeing with you. I'm not defending why I'm gonna go one way or
Right.
the other. I'm just saying that it's kind of hard for us to propose that we do this at this particular time. And at a point of when we negotiate a contract with the city, this is what we're gonna do. I need to do this because this is what the city's not gonna do. And I need to fill this void or whatever. I'm just thinking of things to help you along your path in the next 6 months. Because there are no for sures or it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? It's struggle. And I got that.
The struggle is daily with everything, unfortunately, but we are still here for 6 more months. So with, a lot can be done in 6 months. You know, and if the city chooses to renew, sure, but we still have 6 months and we're here and we're not gonna stop working and pushing forward and trying to get funding because we have to apply for grants, we have to apply for donations. And it's not just here, we are trying to get funding, but to keep it local, we would definitely like assistance with purchasing more microchips. So that's one cost that, you know, is taken off of our plate. Purchasing vaccines, because we are holding a vaccine clinic coming up in, you know, in the next 6 months, we're holding 2. So that would help a lot with that as well. Starting a TNR program, we can spay and neuter a lot of cats in 6 months.
I have to tell you that I admire what you do and the hard work you do.
Thank you.
And I'm down there when I'm home and when I can. But I have to be honest with you. I have more people come up to me and they're angry over our support of the dog shelter when they feel the money should be going to humans. I haven't had one person that has been in support of that. And the other thing is, when I'm looking at this, there are some things on here I couldn't even begin. I mean, there is no way I think we should be buying disinfectant and
We're not
stuff
asking for
like that.
disinfectant.
I know that,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, I can't see that at all.
Right.
And what services should we be able to pay for exactly? I mean,
Since they need to come with the vaccines and the
vaccines.
I mean, it is a part of the California Health Code to be, you know, protecting humans against rabid animals.
But it's also in your cost to adopt. You just wanted to keep it a lower cost to pass on.
But the cost
But
of
you're-
vaccines
but you're
are,
including it in the cost to adopt, correct?
they get vaccinated once they get here, yes.
I think that's all they would do.
But that does not get covered. So we're trying to keep it low cost for your community. But when we hold vaccination clinics, that's for everybody. Those are dogs that we have that come in. Those are dogs that are coming in to get licensed and all of that.
As pet owners, I know that.
Absolutely.
We as taxpayers should not pay. Bottom line. It's fair.
Again, we beg to differ. I mean, it is trying to keep costs low for everybody, right? Isn't that the common goal?
But this is the help.
Well, okay, well, it's still a health, it's a safety service for me, it's still health related to me. Okay, and I walked my district because I had to run for elections. And I had nobody complain about the shelter to me. So why can't we help with the costly for the vaccine or this Zoetis or whatever.
Zoetis, yes.
the $8,620.35.
Well, first off, it's with the youth foundation or with when we recruit. Let me say this again. The other one was for, even though we've gone into the micro grants, okay, which maxes out at 5,000.
Sure.
And the reason that we agreed to let they have over and above the 5,000 was because their initial program wasn't turned down at one of the latter meetings. It was that we needed them to figure out how many kids were Selma, how many kids were Cambridge and Fowler. And with that application wasn't turned down, it was revised. With you, you came to us, I don't know when the last time it was, for 15,000 and you were turned down. And now you're reapplying.
Right.
And under the program, the micro, and I'm just clarifying that, you know, the micro grants are at 5,000 now. So I think the only person who's going to be eligible for the exception of the rule was a previous grant that we gave. So
the reason why we weren't sure because we don't know what you guys haven't made it clear what your initiatives are yet, so we weren't sure of
Doing the five.
what you're doing, so that's why we're unclear. You guys have not decided on that yet, but yet you opened the grant cycle, so we applied for the micro grant or any other, so we don't know what we're gonna be, you know, what we're eligible for. So
I completely, I understand. And like I said, I was just
sure,
making a clarification.
right,
because-
they fall under the old.
Exactly, because I don't want anyone to think,
No,
hey,
we
you
understand
did
that.
that for them, why aren't you gonna, you know, it's not, that's not even close to what.
They
what-
fell under the old grant cycle because they were providing
And the
clarification.
same thing would help too. If your application last couple meetings, and it was because we needed something more from you,
Sure.
then I'd say definitely be qualified for something in between the two figures. And I'm just saying this for clarification
Absolutely.
going forward. So with that, I will give it back to Lynn.
So, anything else with their vaccine or the amount is $8,620.35. And we made a motion to help in that amount.
So you're making a motion to pay the $8,000
$620.35.
for the vaccine,
That's
okay? I'll second it. And Lorraine seconds. Comment? Or do we just go?
No, I think you vote and then see how it goes.
Okay. Roll call?
Chair Hudson,
No.
No.
Yes. Yes. Okay. I'm sorry that didn't go the way you wanted. But if you'd like someone to be there with you when you go to city council, I'm more than willing to sit back there and come up as a community
Thank
member.
you.
And
Thank
and
you.
speak for you.
We would appreciate if all of you guys could come because you guys all do about animals and come support when we do go to negotiation, because you do all recognize that it is a very, very important part of your community.
And so you can voice your concerns that you voiced.
Yeah,
here
If
with
you,
the city as
if you
well.
put that on your website, if I'm in town, I'll go.
Yeah, I think you have all of our support. We just don't have enough funding to keep you in business. And I don't see how you can operate.
I think that's what grants are for, is to help, right? So,
Right.
Well, unfortunately, there's a little bit of a twist with our board because of it being a health board. And the stipulation is that the grants are taxpayers' money to go back to the health of the taxpayers.
it is.
I
and that
got-
when we differ.
Arvine, I wish we could charge Rover property taxes for his doghouse to where we cover it. You understand my point?
Unfortunately, hopefully that day never comes when a rabid animal bites a human, then we'll come back and talk about it.
Yeah, all right.
Thank
Well,
you.
very
Thank you. Okay, and our final proposal is the Central Valley Resource Center Services Is there anybody from that organization?
Are they on Zoom?
No, okay. I think the problem with that was that it was from within the city. And they may not have
Yeah, I
been
called
eligible.
them, and I asked them.
On what
And
is this?
she got upset, because she said that somebody told her that they were a nonprofit and they can come and ask for money from our organization, they're from Hartlear, and I said, okay, so which residents that fall under our district, even of our maps or healthcare are in this program? She goes, I was in, she got upset. She said I was, then she asked me who I was. Fourth time I'm treasurer and home, so I want to know why you're asking us for money when you're from Hartlear and normally you go to your city first and then. Then she got upset and then I got a hold of the secretary because she said she wanted an email sent to her those questions that I was asking. I said, okay, I'll have the secretary. And then she just forwarded you the same paper from the proposal and I don't know, which was not even answered my questions at all. And so I'm not, I was gonna bring it up because I just feel like I got no problem when it's, I'm a taxpayer and this money belongs to the city of Selma and the community of Selma, our residents first and foremost. This is where the money should stay. And she didn't want to answer that.
I'm gonna say that we don't need to do anything with it and just ignore it. They didn't come and they can always come back with another proposal later. So
They would have to document that the recipients are within the sliver that is covered within the city of Hartlear.
yeah.
She goes, well, it doesn't say that. I was told I'm a nonprofit. And I go, yeah, nonprofits from the city of Selma.
Well, obviously, I think, I'm not talking for her, but she might have gotten the
No, I
message.
think somebody told, yeah.
I think
got-
she
I got no
misunderstood.
problem as long as they show us the residents from the district, of our maps that are involved in this program, because it does stretch out to a little bit of Hartlear. And so I just asking two questions. And
Thank you for looking into that. Okay.
I don't know.
And it's definitely in our policy. So that
She said she didn't see it, but they're nonprofit and they can just come and ask them. And I was like,
Okay, so our last item is the board discussion and possible action regarding district-led initiative program. And I think, Anthony, you want to talk about that?
I think we were gonna come prepared with maybe one or two items that we would like to see as initiatives, and maybe take a vote on it tonight if we could.
if I could just clarify one thing. So the concept behind this district-led initiative program is rather than having proposals come to the district can make the determination of the priorities it has. And then with respect to the kind of program that you're interested in, you could either just write a check for a project that you think is important, or in what is contemplated in the grant concept is the notion of pairing or teaming up with one or more other organizations, could be the hospital, in which the district comes with resources and the other party comes with resources, or multiple parties come with resources to try to leverage the district's dollars. So if the district is, for example, interested in, I don't know, funding a certain kind of health-related activity, I think someone mentioned defibrillators, I'm just using as an example, then maybe the district could team up with Adventist to expand the number of defibrillators throughout Selma. That's just an example. It could be a mobile clinic where you pair with a nonprofit to staff a mobile clinic. So the idea is, instead of just writing a check, what can the district do to expand those dollars in a way where you're leveraging them to create a much bigger project to benefit the healthcare needs within the district. And that's really the concept behind the district-led healthcare initiative. And then I think tonight was the idea just to come up and perhaps to agree or come to consensus on one or two items that you wanted to focus on.
I have one that has been on my mind for a while, and that's the mental health issues we're dealing with at school. Now, the school district has put in a lot of money in hiring counselors. We've got more counselors than we've ever had. And I'm here to tell you, it's not enough. I had a student the other day, she was a cutter. I caught her and she hit it with all of her markings on her arms. So I went up to the office. They said, the first person I talked to said, well, it's a 2 to 3 day wait to get somebody to talk to her. And I went, oh, that might not work so well. So I went to the girl that I wanted her to see. And Christy goes, she goes, yeah, they did talk to me this morning, and they pulled her in that next day. But our kids are so struggling right now that I would like to see us partner with some kind of mental health, where we could partner with the district, whether they run some evening workshops for parents, maybe to help with some of this stuff that's going on. I don't know. It's just, yeah.
They have a program called NAMI. The NAMI helps with that. Parents can take classes. I have a daughter who's AD or ADHD, and I had to go to the class.
And that's in Selma?
Well, no, I had to go to Fresno.
Organizations.
But maybe you could coordinate.
Oh,
with
absolutely. Yeah.
NAMI to come and teach a class here, or teach a class here in Selma.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea. I know I've been, I look at these kids and what's going on, and they're struggling, and of course COVID didn't help. But even with the school district, the hospital, I'm sure that we might be able to find something that we could partner with that would help kids. That's my thought.
But that was one of actually the top one on my list, mental health, but expanded beyond just the school children.
In other words, mental health being
Absolutely.
the main title, and then so mental health, and you have A, B, C, D, E, whatever factors we as board members, that it pertains to mental health. Yours, Colleen, being the high schools or the school system itself. I just think that's where,
Yeah,
that's what Anthony
I think that's
was-
great.
Yeah.
So Ken, let's say we vote on mental health being an initiative for next year. At that point, we send out requests for
Proposals, RFPs.
So that could go to organizations such as NAMI or any other one out there to see if they would partner with us.
It could also go to, for example, Fresno County Behavioral Health Services. It could go to Valley Children's, it could go to dentists, it could go to any party who is interested in that issue. There is a brand new hospital, behavioral health hospital opening up in Rivera County called UHS, which is going to be very significant. I know they have a footprint throughout the valley. Sure, that the idea is to team up, to leverage, to come up with a program to expand the service.
Well, I agree with the title. I think mental health is broad, and there's a lot of people we can reach out to as far as benefiting and maybe partnering up with us.
All ages, and I'm thinking of our elderly, because I know a lot of them are lonely and they're dealing with issues, and they are locked into their homes a lot of times, and they wouldn't even know where to go to ask for help. And so we could work through senior center.
I don't have no problem with new programs as long as they stay in the city, so.
Gotcha.
So we agree. Mental health
As our focus.
Well, I don't even know if, yeah, no. What I'm saying is, if we're all in agreement on mental health, we can just choose that for the year 2023, right? And not have to pick and choose. If I'm just saying to simplify things, is that what you're talking about?
Does that work for you, Beth?
Well, that's fine too.
Or is there one that what are you thinking?
And it doesn't prohibit micro grants, to be clear.
This is only for the larger picture.
Oh, no, I don't think we should, because we don't know who's gonna come and ask for funding. I mean, regardless of who it is, you know, we don't know what their proposal, what they're gonna be, are you guys gonna change the website to say it can only be mental health, or is that what you're saying, or no?
No, so the idea here is that the district would allocate a certain pot of money, whatever it is. And then, and it would issue what's called an RFP, which is a request for proposal. And it says this year for 2023, we're going to be focusing on behavioral health, mental health. And the district is allocated X amount of money. And we will entertain proposals to team up with an established nonprofit governmental agency. But please come to us with your concepts, and we will entertain them. And if they make sense, and if you are comfortable as a group, then you would adopt it. You would pick and choose it. And it could be 2 proposals related to mental health. It could be 1 large proposal. It's totally up to you. It will not prohibit micro grants, and it will not prohibit other projects in the future going beyond 2023.
It's just to give us some,
Guidance and direction.
right, and some control of kind of where we want that money to go.
It's a focus.
One question I have is, if the focus is mental health, behavioral health, I think one thing you'd want to do is you'd want to specify in the RFP how much money you are willing to commit up to. And that certainly doesn't mean that's the sky of the program, because the idea is to pair up with someone else who might have grant monies or other dollars. You have about 340,000. I know you have a policy to try to keep about 100,000 in reserve. And you also have committed to another 50 for the micro grant program for 2023.
That's right, about 100.
Well, and we also have, oh gosh, Debbie and I figured it out not too long ago, what our yearly costs are just to keep us going. And I don't know, I just off the top of my head, I was thinking 50,000.
You mean as
As
keep
a-
us going?
No, as a
Cost factor.
cost factor for partnering up with someone. And maybe you're thinking 100, I don't know.
Should we wait until we see what comes in?
Well, the only problem is that if you don't have some
idea
dollar amount specified, I think it's going to be very difficult for people to give you meaningful proposals to know what your participation is. So I would defer to the group. I think 50, given the amount of revenue that you have and the fact that it's an initiative and you're going to have obviously additional revenues coming in for 2023, I think that might be a little on the low side. But
What
it's
does it
totally-
cost to run between attorney's fees and everything else?
Oh,
roughly per year?
Debbie, do you have that?
You know? yourself?
You have it in, you've
Well,
got
I've
it.
got all that info, but I didn't bring it, yeah.
I mean, I don't have it on hand, but.
Well, I mean,
I mean,
let's,
I-
No,
let's,
we do, we
we got, I don't want to the exact dime, but is it 50,000? Is it 25,000?
It's more than 50.
It's more than 50.
But keep in mind, you also have revenues coming in for 23, and you have the $100,000 reserve, which is an administrative reserve.
Yeah.
So you're in actually pretty strong shape.
Yeah, true, because actually, we're gonna give for 2023, what, Letty, would you say our money coming in is on an average basis is 250 to 300,000?
No, no, it's
I
not
have
that
it right
high.
here.
Not that high?
No,
No, oh no.
and it's gonna go down because our population's not growing.
Well, I mean, we don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot, so we need to. Right.
When we got, we had 3 deposits this year, and it was $203,770.
Okay, 203,000. So let's just say for 2023, it might mirror And with the 350, we've just allocated 7,000. That check will go out for 2022 roughly. So I'm gonna say we're gonna have a carryover, and I'm being loose, 300,000 for the beginning of 2023.
Like, well, we had our insurance, that I sent you. That was, $1,185.
Okay, so wait a minute, so let me see where you're at.
Well, we'll have a good like 350, I'm thinking.
Before-
At
yeah,
least
doesn't seem
350.
like
So
it's
it sounds to me like you're wanting
I'm
something more
thinking
like,
100,000 was what I was, yeah, I was thinking 100 grand, and if it's match, it's 200,000.
Yeah.
We could do a lot there could be a lot to program for $200,000, so,
And it's just up to, it wouldn't exceed.
yeah,
100.
it would not exceed 100.
no, that works for me. Because you're right, that would be a goodly amount of money to work with. And it might let you partner up with more than one mental health agency that comes in.
You know, $200,000 could fund, maybe 3/4 of a child's psychologist or something like that. Just throwing it out.
Yeah. Does somebody want to make a motion?
Well, I think if we're in agreement with using that heading as mental health, then I don't know if it requires a vote or we're all in agreement.
Well, I would advise that you have a vote to authorize the issuance of an RFP for mental health services. Debbie and I can work together on the drafting of the RFP.
Okay.
And then release that, post it on the website, send it out to the community. And it would specify mental health services in an amount not to exceed $100,000.
Somebody want to make that?
Well, is it it's not a motion then, it's.
No, it'd be a motion
It has to be a
to
motion.
issue an RFP for an amount not to exceed
All right.
100,000 for mental
Okay,
health
Debbie, I'm
services.
gonna go ahead and do what he just said. To issue an RFP.
To work towards whatever the program is that comes in.
So I made the motion and Anthony seconded. And up to 100, Letty, not that it's automatically gonna go. We could get a proposal. I need 25 grand for something, and then we get that 25 out of that, designated 100. It's just like the 50 that you guys proposed for COVID.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was there, and it was there for that project, and then you picked and choose and gave the money. I don't think that we spent the whole 50, did we?
You didn't, but having a cap gives potential partners an understanding of what this district's participation.
Exactly, yeah.
And then once we get the proposals, it's either a yes or a no vote.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing is.
It could be, but the thing that's nice about RFPs is it enables the district to negotiate with the potential partner to craft the policy, to craft the program.
With some room to.
Yeah.
Get collaborative.
Exactly.
Okay,
Chair Nelson,
yes.
Commissioner Terrian,
Yes.
Commissioner Dorado, Secretary Oliver,
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, well, that brings our evening to a close.
And that's what we had you say.
Good. We're hoping you were taking notes. We might be able to partner up in some way, and that would be a good thing. So guys, this is it for me. I'll see you. As I
You
travel.
don't want to set the date for February?
Yo, gosh, we have to set the date.
You still
Yeah.
have a few things to do.
No, we do, we forgot the date.
Yeah.
Calendar.
February. First Tuesday is the 2nd. Next week is the 7th. I'm not on February. February 2nd or February 7th. That's not. 7 is for. Valentine's Day. Oh my God. on your back. Deborah? Nothing. Does everybody?
Everywhere?
Seems far away. Okay.
It'll work for Mary. Yeah.
Oh, okay. The 9th.
So the 9th works,
Yeah. I'll
and you'll
get-
have to send a note to Rosemary and let her know.
And so before we adjourn, I have been asked to say a little something to you, Reno bound.
I think that would be we can turn off.
No, this is part of the meeting. This is on
No,
the
this is
record,
part of it.
on the record.
So anyway, I've been asked to say a few words to celebrate Colleen Nelson's retirement from the health board. And, basically, I'm the newest member and Debbie's second in line. And so I've had the pleasure of being a board member with her for 2 years. And as you well know, it's limited to 8 visits a year, or actually 4, I think I've had 4. So we've had 8 to 10 times that we've shared. And during that time, I watched, I listened, you're the newbie, you're trying to get your sea legs, and you cherish the learning, to get enough gumption to speak up and say everything. But, Colleen's been a pillar to the health board. And so I kind of was reaching out to, we have a mutual friend, and I said, I don't know how many years Colleen served on the health board. And she goes, Daniel, and when I get called Daniel, my mom would call me Daniel. My ass was grass, excuse me for being on the thing, but you're in trouble, right? She goes, I go, what did I do wrong? And she goes, well, there's 2 things you never do. You never ask a woman her age, and you never ask them how long they've been working for a foundation or whatever. Anyway, we chuckle and laugh. So with that, for the years that you dedicated to the health board, we would like to present you with a little token of our appreciation.
Oh, you guys are kind, thank you. Gosh, when I first got on the board, Ken, we were meeting in,
No, she told me, the hospital.
No, Courtney's
no, we
office.
were meeting in the in
Oh, so that was
Courtney's
before the
office.
hospital?
Not just Courtney's office, Courtney's waiting room.
Yeah. And so if we had to step out, we had to go out around the corner where the other side, so you couldn't hear anything. So we've come a long way, and that was in 2008.
Yeah, because she told me, she goes, I know, she said, I'll give you this much information. She says, they were at the hospital, then they were at the library, and now they're at the senior center. Now, is that a true statement?
Yes,
Library, yeah.
Yes.
yeah, we went to the library,
Okay,
and then we came here, and this has been the best, but in those beginning years, we were just trying to get this thing going again. And when people thought that not telling what the money was or where it was, or whatever, we were asking
you
people
guys
to
are
come.
pioneers, yeah, exactly.
And now it's out in the community, and the community's coming, and
We had a lot less gray hair, did we?
yeah,
not?
we did. I did. Oh, thank you, guys. I have a place to put this.
Good. And with that, I
Says
guess.
thank you for everything you've done for the healthcare district. December 2nd.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I know Debbie picked that up. It's been good, and I think it's come a long way, and I think we've got a good board here with thoughtful people who care about the community. So I'm leaving in good hands. But I'll still be coming to some of the meetings. Because I'll come sit with you and then if we can make comments together. On that, we can adjourn and, oh, she brought cupcakes, guys.
All right, thank you.
February 9th.
Friday?
It's a Thursday.
Are we off?